Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad and this is Tausūg101 Learn Sinūg and Anything Tausūg. Today in this lesson we are going to learn letters Bā and Gā. Okay, Bismillah. So today we are going to learn these two letters and why they're special in Bahasa Sūg, letters Bā and Gā. So just a brief background, our objectives for this lesson. First, by the end of this lesson, the students will be able to learn the special way of pronouncing the letters Bā and Gā, distinguish and practice pronouncing the Bā Mahantap, Bā Mahangin, Gā Mahantap and Gā Kahak sounds, and review the rules in which these sounds will be used. Our references for this lesson, as usual, will be using Dr. Benj Bangahan's English to Bahasa Sūg Dictionary, Kapitangan Iban Mana, published by Annual Publications, and Dr. Hanbal Baras Lapalma Mahsinūg Tausūg Dictionary. Okay, just a review from our previous lesson. We learned the letters in Bahasa Sūg are composed of the following: 20 basic letters and 8 borrowed consonants. So, with the puunan batang sulat or basic consonants, we have the following letters. And it is interesting to note that letters Bā and Gā have two different sounds or pronunciations here in our IPA International Phonetic Association. So letters Bā and Gā have two different pronunciations. We will group them into two. The first, Tingug Mahantap versus the Tingug Mahangin. For Bā, it will be called Bā Mahantap and Bā Mahangin. And for letter Gā, it's Gā Mahantap and Gā Kahak. So letters Bā and Gā both have two different ways of pronouncing the letters. It depends on their location in a word or a group of words in a sentence. This is quite unique in Bahasa Sūg because I haven't found any language yet that uses these rules. So let's start with letter Bā. As you can remember, in Sulat Sūg or in JavaScript, this is how Bā looks like. Examples are Bai, Batu, Basu. So again, Bā has two different pronunciations. We have Bā Mahantap, examples. Again, our examples earlier, Bai, Batu, and Basu. And then we have the Bā Mahangin variant, which in here, examples, we have Havai, Labud, Luwid. Listen carefully. Later we will be discussing how they are different or they are represented by the IPA letters. Okay, let's discuss first the Bā Mahantap variant. Bā Mahantap, according to Dr. Benj Bangahan, is wherein the letter Bā is pronounced with closed lips, making the air exit somewhat explosively when pronouncing a clear, distinct sound. Mahantap in Bahasa Sūg, it means clear or distinct. So when do we use the Bā Mahantap? First, we use the Bā Mahantap when the words are starting with letter Bā either as an isolated word or at the beginning of a sentence. We also use Bā Mahantap with words with the letter Bā in the middle but preceded or followed by another consonant letter or a glottal stop, represented here by an apostrophe. Lastly, we use Bā Mahantap on all words ending with letter B, letter Bā. Let's have an example for the first group. Words starting with letter Bā, either at the beginning of the sentence or as an isolated word. Examples here, we already have this. Bai, Batu, Basu. As you can see, the letter Bā is pronounced clearly. In a sentence, example here, Bagay ko hi Omar. Bagay ko hi Omar. Next, when words with letter Bā in the middle but preceded or followed by another consonant letter or a glottal stop. Examples, we have Ambak, Sabtu, sabto, or takbang, takbang. As you can observe here, the letters ba are in the middle of the word, but it is either preceded by another consonant or followed by another consonant, or a glossal stop. When used in a sentence, when the letter ba is in the middle of the sentence or preceded by another consonant, we still use the Bā Mahantap sound. So here, Umar in bagay ko. Umar in bagay ko. Bā Mahantap. Lastly, we use Bā Mahantap on all words ending with letter ba. Examples here we have malanab, malanab, sabab, sabab, and ukab, ukab. Again, as a review, when do we use Bā Mahantap? We use Bā Mahantap on words starting with the letter B or ba, either as an isolated word or at the beginning of the sentence, words with letter ba in the middle but preceded or followed by another consonant or a glossal stop, and all words ending with letter ba. Now let's proceed to Bā Mahangin. Bā Mahangin, according to Dr. Benj Bangahan, is produced when the letter ba is pronounced with the lips slightly open all throughout. Hence, air smoothly and freely passes out during the pronunciation. Mahangin means airy. Listen carefully as I try to produce the sound. Va, va, va. It is important to note that Bā Mahangin is not equivalent to the sounds of va as in letter V or wa as in letter W. Why? Here are their differences. Bā Mahangin, air passes through both lips that are slightly open. Teeth are not involved. An example, look at my mouth. Va, va, va. Letter V, on the other hand, air passes through or between the lower lip and the upper teeth. There is a kind of biting the lower lip style. Va, va, va. That's letter V. While Bā Mahangin is va, va, va. Wow, on the other hand, the letter W, air passes through the both lips forming a tight circle. Example, wa, wa, wa. So observe, va, va. That's Bā Mahangin. Va, va. That's letter V or va, and wa, wa. That's letter W. There. Everything different. So never use the letters V and W to represent Bā Mahangin. You should just retain the letter B, but the pronunciation is different. So when do we use Bā Mahangin? We use Bā Mahangin when we have words with the letter ba in between two vowel sounds, or words beginning with the letter ba but preceded by another word ending with a vowel sound. Examples: words with letter ba in between two vowel sounds. Here we have examples. Havai, havai. As you can see, the letter ba here is placed in between two vowel sounds, namely letters a. Havai, havai, not havai. Havai, havai, havai. Va, havai, not havai. Labud, 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 not labud. Lubid, 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 and not lubid, and not luwid as in wow, or lubid as in va. Okay? Again, havai, havai, labud, labud, lubid, lubid. In a sentence, when words beginning with letter ba is preceded by another word ending with a vowel sound, we actually use the Bā Mahangin. An example here, bay. Remember, bay means house. It uses the Bā Mahantap sound because it begins with the letter ba. But when we use it in a sentence, harap ko pabay, harap ko pabay, it now uses the Bā Mahangin sound. I'm going to my house. Why? Because the letter ba here is now preceded by another word that ends with a vowel sound. So the letter ba is now in between two vowel sounds. Common error with Bā Mahangin. The sound of Bā Mahangin, or airy Bā sound, is sometimes heard as similar to the sound of letter wow. Some Tausūgs would use the letter W to replace the letter Bā, which is not correct. This should be avoided at all times. Why? Because here are examples. They will write Hawaii instead of Hawaii, Bawai instead of Bawai, and Sawab instead of Sawab. So please try to avoid. This is wrong because it is prone to errors, especially with words with similar spellings but of different meaning. Let's have some example. Please do not use the letter wow or W to replace the letter Ba to represent Bā Mahangin. Okay, why? Here's an example. We have two sentences here which are similar, but we just changed the letters Ba to W to wow. So in the first example, we have "Da hindi kami maglaway." Da hindi kami maglaway. We pass through here. In the second example, we have "Da hindi kami maglaway." Laway. Laway means salivate or drool. So it's very different. So try to avoid it, okay? So as a review, Bā Mahangin is used with words with the letter Ba in the middle of two vowel sounds, or words beginning with the letter Ba but preceded by another word ending with a vowel sound. Okay, here's a beautiful example. Bawai, girl. Bawai means girl, woman, or female. As you can see, the first Ba here, colored red, is in Bā Mahantap because it is placed at the beginning of the word Ba, Bawai, while the second Ba is using the Bā Mahangin sound. Why? Because it is now in between two vowel sounds. So Bawai, and not, we pronounce it as Bawai, not Babai. Okay, Bawai, Bawai. It's the same letter but of different pronunciations, different sounds. So there we have it, Bā Mahantap and Bā Mahangin. Now let's proceed to letter Gā. Now in Surat Sūg or Jawi, this is how the letter Gā is written. Examples, we have Gadja, Gitu, Gusuk, Ga, Ga, Ga. Same with letter Ba, Ga has two different sounds. We have the Gā Mahantap and Gā Kahak. Gā Mahantap examples here: Gadja, Gitu, Gusuk. And Gā Kahak, we have Bagay, Bagay, Naligad, Naligad, Uhud, Uhud. It is represented here by an IPA. Let's discuss first the Gā Mahantap. Now, Gā Mahantap is pronounced, according to Dr. Benj Bangahan, when the letter Gā is pronounced as clearly and distinctly as the Gā sound, Gā. Again, Mahantap means clear or distinct. When do we use this? Same with letter Ba. We use Gā Mahantap with words starting with the letter Gā, either as an isolated word or at the beginning of the sentence. We also use the Gā Mahantap sound with words with the letter Gā in the middle but preceded or followed by another consonant letter or a glottal stop, again represented by an apostrophe here. And lastly, all words ending with letter Gā. Examples, we have Gadja, Gitu, Guso. This is for the first group, wherein the letter Gā is at the beginning of the word or at the beginning of the sentence. Example here, Gandum in kiyaon ko. It was 4 that I ate. Gandum in kiyaon ko. Gā Mahantap. Second example are words with the letter Gā in the middle but preceded by another consonant letter or a glottal stop. We have here preceded or followed. Preceded or followed by another consonant letter or a glottal stop. Examples, we have Sagbu, Sagbu, grass. As you can see, the letter Gā here is followed by another consonant which is letter Ba. Baggu, Baggu, Baggu. Baggu is a cowrie shell. Baggu, to Gā here. And Dakgan, Dakgan, underneath. It is now followed by, it is preceded by an apostrophe. Okay? Dakgan, Dakgan. In a sentence, we have here, inwal na sindahon gaddong. Inwal na sindahon gaddong. The letter ga here is at the beginning of the word, and it is also preceded by another consonant letter, which is letter N. Gaddong. So we use the ga man. So, and lastly, all words ending with the letter ga. We have diaug, diaug, dawdog, dawdog, and mainig, mainig, ga, ga. So again, as a review, Gā Mahantap is used with words starting with the letter Ga at the beginning of the word or at the beginning of the sentence. Secondly, when words with the letter Ga in the middle but preceded or followed by another consonant letter or a glottal stop. And lastly, all words ending with letter Ga. They use the Gā Mahantap sound. Then when do we use the Gā Kahak? Gā Kahak is how is Gā Kahak pronounced? The letter Ga assumes the pronunciation of the Arabic letter Ghain. 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 Listen. It is a soft Ga. Ga. Ghain. Kahak is the act of expelling phlegm. Kha. Kahak. So it's called Gā Kahak. Okay. This is represented here by these IPA letters. So when do we use Gā Kahak? It's the same with the Bā Mahangin. We use Gā Kahak with words when the letter Ga is in the middle of two vowel sounds, or with words beginning with the letter Ga but preceded by another word ending with a vowel sound, in which the Ga now is in between two vowel sounds. So whenever the Ga or the letter Ba are in between two vowel sounds, they now assumes the softer sound, which is the Bā Mahangin or the Gā Kahak. Examples: we have words with the letter Ga in the middle or between two vowel sounds. We have karang, karang, karang. The Ga here assumes the Ghain sound, Ra, Kahak sound, karang, and not the Gā Mahantap sound, which is kagang. So we pronounce this as karang, karang, and not kagang. Bagay, friend, bagay, bagay, and not bagay, bagay. Urud, 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 and not ugud. Okay? Urud, karang, bagay, urud. Why? Because the letter Ga here are in between two vowel sounds. This is quite hard for new beginners, new to the Bahasa Sūg sound, but later on you will just keep on practicing. Later on you will master this sound. In a sentence, when the word actually begins with the letter Ga but it is preceded by another word but ending with a vowel sound, the letter Ga now is in between two vowel sounds, so it assumes the Gā Kahak sound. Example, we have here Gadja. Gadja is elephant. It assumes the Gā Mahantap sound because it is at the beginning of the word Ga, Gadja. But when used in a sentence and it is preceded by another word ending with a vowel sound here, simakat siya hagadja, simakat siya hagadja, gadja, hagadja. Now, the Ga here now assumes, although it's the same word, gadja to hagadja, it now assumes the Gā Kahak sound because it is now in between two vowel sounds, ha and a in the gadja, hagadja. He rode an elephant. Okay? Here's another example, Gagandilan. It's a beautiful example because the first Ga assumes the Gā Mahantap sound, Ga, Ga, Ga. And the second Ga uses the Gā Kahak sound, Gagandilan, Gagandilan, and not Gagandilan. Okay? Gagandilan. Okay. So that's it. So we learned the Gā Mahantap and Gā Kahak. So how about attaching affixes? How does it affect the sound, the letters Ba and Ga? So whenever attaching affixes, we still follow the rules, the previous rules. Okay. So when the prefix ending with a vowel sound plus words beginning with letter Ba or Ga, let's study the examples here. We have Ma, a prefix. Then we connect it to the word Biskay. Biskay means fast. Now, as you can see, as you can hear here, Biskay uses the Bā Mahantap sound. Ba, Biskay. because the letter ba here is at the beginning of the word. But when we attach the prefix ma, it now becomes mabiskay. Mabiskay, not mabiskay. Okay? Why? Because the ba sound here now assumes the Bā Mahangin sound because it is now in between two vowel sounds. Mabiskay, not mabiskay. Okay? From Bā Mahantap to Bā Mahangin. So when we attach prefixes ending with a vowel sound like ma, na, naka, and we add words beginning with letters ba or ga, like here, naka, giik. Giik assumes the Gā Mahantap sound because it is at the beginning of the word. Ga, giik. Giik means step, to step on. Now, when we connect the prefix naka, it now becomes nakariik. 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 The ga here now assumes the Gā Kahak sound, which is the softer sound because it is now in between two vowel sounds, naka and giik. Nakariik. Not nakagiik. Nakariik. Nakariik. Next, we have words ending with letter ba or ga, and we connect them with suffixes starting with vowel sounds. So this is now the opposite. So what about words ending with letters ba, like saug, saug, and then we attach a suffix starting with the letter ba with a vowel sound, like an. Now we read this as sauwan, sauwan. Again, the ba in the first word, first example, saub, assumes the Bā Mahantap sound because it is at the end of the word. But when we attach a suffix, like the suffix an, starting with a vowel sound, it is now, the ba here now assumes the Bā Mahangin sound because it is now in between two vowel sounds. So we read this as sauwan, sauwan, and not sauban. Okay, sauwan. Same with letter ga, daug, daug. It assumes the Gā Mahantap because it is at the end of the word. But when we attach the suffix un, which starts with a vowel sound, it now sounds like daugun. We now pronounce this as daugun, daugun. The ga here now assumes the Gā Kahak sound because it is now in between two vowel sounds. Daugun, daugun, and not daugun. Okay? So that is all for this lesson. So we learn the letters ba and ga in Bahasa Sūg are both unique. They have two different ways of pronouncing their sounds. For letter ba, we have Bā Mahantap and Bā Mahangin, and for letter ga, we have the Gā Mahantap and Gā Kahak sounds. We learned that Bā Mahantap and Gā Mahantap are used when the letters ba and ga are at the beginning or found at the beginning of the sentence or a word, or in the middle of a word or a sentence, but preceded or followed by another consonant or glottal stop, or at the end of the word. But when the letters ba and ga are now in between two vowel sounds, we now use the Bā Mahangin and the Gā Kahak sounds when they are in between two vowel sounds. And lastly, also a reminder, we should never use the letters va or wow, w or wow, or n, va, to replace the airy Bā Mahangin sound. Attaching affixes like a prefix or a suffix also follows these rules. So that's all, Magsukul. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like if you learned something or you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow our social media sites. We have our Facebook page, our Instagram, and our Patreon. Also, please visit our website at www.tausūg101.com, or if it doesn't load, just proceed to www.tausūg101.wordpress.com for tutorials, free lessons, and translations. This is our new website actually. And again, my name is Ahmad. Thank you for watching. This is Tausūg101, Learn Sinūg and anything Tausūg101.